The title isn't a joke. This movie exists. The Asylum. Yeah, we were bound to tackle these arseholes sooner or later. And if you're fortunate enough to not be familiar with The Asylum, let me fill you in. It's a small film production company that makes straight-to-video, low-budget mockbuster movies, but capitalise on recent releases. In 2005, they made a poor adaptation of War of the Worlds. The very same year, Steven Spielberg made one. And that's when they decided to just run with it. 2007 rolled around, and a tiny movie you may have heard of called Transformers was made by Michael Bay. So The Asylum wanted some of that action and made Transmorphers. In 2008, The Day the Earth Stood Still came out, and then they made The Day the Earth Stopped. The founder, David Michael Latt, admitted that he just wants to get his movies seen, and he claims that people make rip-offs all the time. He's just a lot less subtle about it. He will just go all out and not even bother to hide it. Credit for honesty.
No, it's fine.
2012 rolled around and Battleship was made from Universal Pictures, so they made American Battleship, but finally received a lawsuit for copyright infringement, so they had to rename it to American Warships. In 2013, The Hobbit came out, so they made Age of the Hobbits, but like before, they were sued and had to retitle it to Lord of the Elves, though The Asylum claimed that it was all fair use as their hobbits were not based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. However, the company did hit the big time with the likes of Sharknado, but despite this, amidst all of these movies, there was one in 2010, and just the title alone leaves people scratching heads. How the hell can you make a Titanic 2? What's next? Schindler's List 2? Revenge of the Jews? Pearl Harbor 2? Saving Private Ryan 2? The Diary of Anne Frank 2? The movie, like almost every production of The Asylum, was panned, though some did defend it and claimed that if you ignore the title and the fact that it's based on the Titanic, it's not as bad as you think. Though one critic claimed this movie is what would happen if James Cameron's Titanic would have had the digital effects that looked like animation from a Wii cutscene. What do we even say? It's a mockbuster to one of my favourite movies ever made. It's Titanic 2! It's Titanic 2. Titanic 2.
Oh, I'm listening.
The funny thing is, the intro is so overly dramatic. Look at it! The other Asylum movies kind of knew that they were a joke, so why is this one taking itself so seriously? You're called Titanic 2! I mean, I guess at least they tried? I'm not even sure if that makes it better or worse. My god, look at those effects. James Cameron, eat your heart out. Yeah, watch me ride over the graves of thousands. Bodacious. But weirdly, he stops to react to the ice. Then he surfs off. Then he stops to watch it again. What, did I hit the rewind button? And then he realizes, oh no, this is bad. I'm out of here. What the hell did you expect? So, just to clarify, this is a movie based on the Titanic 2, right? This ship setting sail. And then there's a subplot about an ice glacier falling into the ocean. Well, I don't know where this is going. Oh, just look at those flawless green screens. They really busted out all the stops on these effects. Alright, all jokes aside, seeing the ship is actually pretty cool. But why the hell would anyone build a ship and call it the Titanic 2? That's the whole setup. So basically, they built a replica of the Titanic, and they plan to set sail 100 years after the original, on the exact same course, on the exact same day, and called it the Titanic 2. Now, a few things. Firstly, this movie came out in 2010. Why not just wait 2 years and release it 100 years after it set sail? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But also, why would you build a ship, you know, that killed thousands? You then built a ship and named it after that. Why would you actually do that? Then, why would anyone voluntarily get on that ship? Why would anyone voluntarily work on that ship? The voyage is completely cursed! I mean, there's a reason they stopped naming airlines after specific numbers when it's been a disaster!
Why is that?
Oh, and this is actually a real thing. After this movie came out, I'm not saying there's a connection.
Okay.
There actually is a project to build a real replica of the original Titanic called the Titanic 2 to set sail, but who the hell would go on it? It's a jinx, you loonies! Anyone who boards it is a complete moron!
This is monumental.
Anyway, so we stare at a crew member's arse as she boards the ship. Alright.
Swear to God, I would rather watch some of these people drown than give them CPR.
Subtle. People talk this way. I swear they do. And that's when we see the creator of this whole mess. Writer and director, Shane Van Dyke. Yep, that's right. Dick Van Dyke's grandson is responsible for this. Looking like Dolph Ziggler surrounded by women. Told you he wrote and directed it.
Oh, really?
Anyway, he plays the owner of the ship, Hayden. And it turns out one of the crew members, Amy, used to have a thing with him, but now he's all rich and successful and stuck up his own butt.
The Hayden that I knew, he doesn't exist anymore. Well, he wanted you on his ship, didn't he? To be continued.
Ha! Something Titanic 1 didn't say!
These boats don't look any safer than the old ones.
Just for show, darling. Real bad boys are down below.
Of course they are. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, there's a calving glacier up in Greenland they want me to investigate.
Dad, the ship is amazing. There's nothing to worry about.
Did you hear about the original? I also love how it's supposed to be an identical replica of the original ship, yet it doesn't have the staircase or any of the interior designs. Guess the budget couldn't afford it. But do you know what costs zero money? Not making Titanic 2!
You're hopeless.
Oh, also, Amy's dad is the local Coast Guard, and he's concerned about his daughter boarding the ship as he heads off to investigate the ice.
We had this conversation. I don't want you on that boat.
We agreed that this was good for me.
Yeah, well, that's before I realized the rush job that they had committed to in order to make this anniversary date.
Dad, did the ship pass inspection?
Barely.
Oh. So they have literally learned nothing in the past 100 years.
Welcome aboard the Titanic 2.
Thank you.
Why are you all so happy and proud? Did you not hear about what happened the first time? But look, Hayden has all his girls, but then he gives Amy a look. See, they have a moment. This is character development. He's still good at heart.
A day we're an eye to the future. Triumph over our defeats of the past. A day where the lives lost on board this ship's predecessor were remembered with the creation of the greatest, fastest, most sophisticated ship ever created.
Oh, so they are aware of the original ship. They're just choosing to ignore all of it. God damn it, movie!
Please, I ask that all of you enjoy yourselves as we embark on our maiden voyage across the Atlantic Ocean and into the history book.
As one of the single dumbest ideas ever put to paper. Ah, this is where I'm going to die because I'm an idiot. Wow. Just wow. Look at this brilliantly animated stock footage. It almost looks real. No. No, it doesn't.
They should have given you the drop zone radius of 300 yards. Ride is too close to the edge.
We'll keep the blades running in case the ground shakes.
Now can we get a more convincing green screen?
The wave from yesterday's collapse was felt as far as Baffin Island in northern Canada. The piece of ice that broke off this glacier was about the size of Manhattan. Imagine what a piece the size of Rhode Island would do.
Well, I have no idea where this is going. Now, I know what you're thinking. Obviously, the original, we knew how it ended. But the movie took its time to develop the characters so you cared when the tragedy hit. But here, they're giving a whole backstory for an iceberg. It's a fucking iceberg! We don't give a shit where it came from.
Of course, there's no such thing as global warming, right?
want to tell me what the hell I'm looking at?
A terrible script with the budget of a potato.
If yesterday's collapse was a pebble, the next one will be a cannonball. Now picture the Atlantic Ocean as the pond.
So why the hell are you standing there, you moron? You're literally warning him of this impending danger, and you're like, oh yeah, it could happen at any minute. While you're standing there, dead in the danger zone, smiling like an idiot. Oh well, time for Hayden and Amy to pretend to have chemistry a bit more. So they have a bit of a chat. His dad is dead or something. He chose a different life and left her. She guilt trips him about it and then leaves. Well, they fail, but at least they tried.
Water readings at 31 degrees. Ironic, isn't it?
How's that?
Same reading as 100 years ago.
That's not ironic. It's unfortunate.
MC doesn't know what irony is.
They even make it even more forced by laughing at the incompetency of the captain and crew from 100 years ago, claiming how much better built this ship is. Lazy, forced foreshadowing doesn't equal good writing.
Boring.
Oh well, back to the Iceman.
How long do we have before it collapses?
It's hard to say.
So fucking move! Why are you still standing there? It could blow at any minute! Just move! Why are you this dumb?
Oh, there's a bomb, dude! I need to defuse it, because this could blow up at any minute. Oh. I spy with my little eye something beginning with
Oh, what a shock! Look what's happened! Why are you so surprised? You literally just said that it could happen at any minute! I know that people say, oh, this looks like it was edited on Microsoft Paint, but I actually think it was. Look at it! That footage needs to be prescribed as an antidepressant.
What is life but an empty void filled with disappointment and misery? Simply watch this video clip. Let's take a look. It better not be kittens or babies. It is actually kind of...
Oh, I love it! Oh, look, a close-up of some ice in somebody's drink. Brilliantly clever foreshadowing, yes. So they try to spread warnings of the falling glaciers causing a tsunami, including to all ships at sea. Except ships at sea are barely ever affected by tsunamis. The ships would barely even feel it. That doesn't mean it never happens, but just, this is damn near impossible for any of this to occur the way the movie shows.
That's not entirely true, Captain. Ships at the surface may be fine, but everything underneath will be affected. This is the North Atlantic.
Well, no, they're not affected. I mean, if the ship was near coastal areas, obviously the depth of the ocean is a lot less, so the waves of the tsunami would consume the ship. But in the middle of the ocean, the ship wouldn't be affected. This is just facts. This movie doesn't know how to science.
Admiral, listen, we need to issue a radio alert to every ship in the Atlantic. Tell them to steer clear of any signs of ice. I repeat, tell them to stay away from the icebergs.
Whereas normally they just head straight towards them.
Did you know Titanic was warned 6 times about icebergs and still did nothing?
Yeah, they were stupid, weren't they? Now sure, let's just pretend for a second that ships are affected at sea by tsunamis. Even by their own bullshit logic, it still makes no sense.
I need one of you on deck to start escorting passengers down to the lower decks.
They literally just said only underneath the water would be affected. So now they're taking all the passengers to the lower decks. Why do they like taking everybody to the danger zone?
The Coast Guard has issued an ocean-wide alert.
Coast Guard, that's great. What the hell caused it?
Getting on a ship called Titanic 2, named after a vessel that tragically sunk 100 years ago on the same day on the same route, was a bad idea?
Ignorance is bliss, right?
So Amy's dad tries to warn Hayden about the iceberg, but he still doesn't listen. It's been 100 years and they've learned nothing. Alright, eventually he realises he's an idiot and does end up listening. Dumbass. Oh, also, the owner of the ship has no say in what the captain does. The captain makes the decisions, but in this movie, Hayden's like, no, we have to do this. No, he'd be escorted off and the captain would be left to do his job. But I really hate to admit just how intense and dramatic it is as they wait for the first impact.
2,000. Sir, it's gonna hit.
Brace for impact.
Why am I really into this all of a sudden? No! This movie sucks! And then Hayden gets more warning but ignores them all and continues to go full speed. Yeah, but the 1912 crew were dumbasses.
Hi, you've reached Amy Bain. Please leave a message after the beep.
Yeah, Amy, this is Dad. Listen to me. Something has happened. There's a tsunami. It's headed south through the Atlantic. It's going to reach your ship in a matter of minutes. Now, I want you to pay attention. Now, stay off the lower decks.
Wait. Surely you would have told them that earlier in the first phone call. And then they went and told the passengers to go to the lower decks anyway. I don't understand! But even one of the engines blows and Hayden still refuses to stop the ship. Why do you keep giving ships to simpletons? So panic kicks in as they all see another iceberg approaching. Seriously, this is actually quite intense. I mean, sure, it doesn't look great, but I guess it's fine for its budget. I love how some people aren't even bothered. Oh, how annoying. But now all the lifeboats on the lower deck are destroyed and the ones on the top were for show and don't even float. Brilliant planning, genius. You've learned nothing. You'd think they'd put on extra lifeboats because of the past, just in case.
The entire thing will be underwater within 30 minutes.
Okay, begin the evacuation. Fill all the boats that we have.
Women and children first.
Looks like history's repeating itself.
No, the last one was successful. So they're trying to get Hayden to safety, but he refuses to leave the passengers. Wait, I thought he was a self-centered douchebag. Where did this come from all of a sudden?
Okay, listen to me. I want you to get as many injured people as you can on this chopper now.
Mr. Walsh, procedure.
I don't care about procedure.
But it's his ship. So procedure would say he goes down with the ship. Dumbass. And don't tell me that's the captain and not the owner of the ship. Because he was calling the shots earlier. Clearly he's the captain.
Titanic is fitted with more than enough lifeboats.
We may not have seen the end of this glacier collapse, sir. And, if there's another wave, those lifeboats aren't going to do anybody any good. Sadly, my daughter's on that ship.
I understand.
If she wasn't, you just leave them all to die? Yeah, that definitely looks real.
I need another group of women. Come up here. We gotta get to the lifeboats. Ladies, come on. Put your life vest on.
And then give me acting lessons, and then give me acting lessons.
Oh no, I just want to get my hand back.
Get in there.
Teach me to act! So Hayden returns for his bae Amy before some jackass attacks him for causing this whole mess. Dude, now is not the time. Survive and then you can kick his ass. Oh well, Amy refuses to leave her friend and he agrees to help her because we have to redeem him somehow. Sorry, but he's no Jack. We want Jack back. We miss him.
That's a negative, sir.
They find her friend, but she's wounded, so they tape a credit card to the wound. No! Did you even pass any first aid training? That's not going to stop the blood. It's just going to easily bleed out over the card. And the card hasn't even been sterilized, so you may have just given her an infection and caused her more pain, you moron. Are you telling me there's no bandage in that supply room? Or how? Even use your clothing. You need something to soak up the blood, not a plastic credit card.
you could say that.
Oh, come on, this isn't realistic. Everyone in 2012 would just be Instagramming or tweeting about it. But the crazy guy tries attacking his way to the top. He just seems to be picking fights with anyone he finds instead of, you know, trying to survive the sinking ship. But Amy's dad warns them to not use the lifeboats as the tsunami will just destroy them easily. So they're basically forever stuck on the sinking ship to die. And despite being in an emergency, they decide to use the lift anyway. Are you fucking morons?
Do you understand me, Captain? There's another wave coming.
Acting! It explodes. The ship explodes. Somehow technology got worse in 100 years. But to make matters worse, Hayden and the girls now get trapped inside the lift. Oh, what a predicament.
Keep pushing!
It's stuck.
The shaft must have collapsed. This isn't good.
Finally, something we can agree on. And Amy somehow gets a phone signal in a broken lift on a sinking ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, but my Wi-Fi doesn't even reach my bedroom. But yeah, an even bigger wave is coming their way. They still shouldn't feel it, but whatever. He even gives Hayden a confidence boost, saying he wants him to prove that he's an honourable man by protecting his daughter. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen.
Dad, I'm so scared.
I know, sweetie. It's all right. It's all right. Just do what I told you. It's gonna be fine.
If I don't make it.
Don't even say that.
You know, these performances are actually kind of making me care. How? The characters are nothing. How the hell are they doing this? So they use an axe to get out of the lift and climb the shaft. Lift.
The door's jammed.
I thought the doors opened manually.
You're supposed to.
What if water's on the other side and you're trying to pry it open? Do you know anything about anything?
I think so.
So he holds the door open with an axe for Amy to get through, but her mate gets killed. Well, she deserves it. Look! She could see the axe was slipping and Amy was struggling to get through, and she still decided to try to jump on in. Dumbass.
We have to climb over.
We're already wet. What difference does it make?
As long as we don't touch the wires, and our feet aren't on the ground, we won't be electrocuted. Right?
I don't know.
You're a nurse.
I'm not an electrician. I don't know.
He thinks nurses take electricity courses. This guy has the IQ of a sponge. But I hate to admit it, this actually leads to quite an intense scene where they have to climb over the water to avoid being electrocuted. Hey, they actually tried something new! It does get quite dramatic and I am actually really into it. She does start to slip at one point and Hayden comes back and catches her and then puts her arm back on the pipe, and that somehow improves her grip and upper body strength. Okay.
Did you hear that? What is that?
He's trapped.
We have to help him.
Okay, look. I'm gonna get you to the dive locker. I'll come back and help.
No, we don't have time for that.
According to this film's timeline, yeah, you do. But just like the original, they have to stop and help a trapped passenger just to make sure we like Hayden by the end of it. But they die anyway. So, that was pointless. But Hayden and Amy tried to save him, so yeah, you gotta like him, you gotta like him.
I killed him.
Hayden, it's not your fault.
Well, it is.
It is my fault.
True.
Now let's go. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
My God, how slow is this ship sinking? It stayed in the same position for like 40 minutes. So they find a final wetsuit to keep Amy warm as they're both stuck in the diving facility as the water continues to rise.
Sir, just picked up a lost diver beacon on the SAR frequency. Looks like it's coming from Titanic too.
Look.
It's black. We can't see what the hell you're looking at, dude. So Amy offers to share the oxygen tank with him, but he refuses as he's going to die from the cold anyway. The problem is, there's no transition for his character. Usually for a redemption story, there's a change, but here, there isn't. He's an arrogant, self-centered dickhead, and then he isn't. There's been no trigger or anything. And if it's supposed to be that one talk they had, that hardly established anything. This kind of story needs more time, but I'm glad as hell it didn't get it. But he does offer to die so she can have the full oxygen, survive, and then he has a chance to be resuscitated, which I guess is a clever move. Well done, I suppose. And then he apologizes for leaving her, but that's it. No further explanation is given. So the whole backstory is completely pointless. It's just a wasted opportunity. And then he dies. At least it wasn't on a door. But of course her father dives in and somehow manages to find them in this massive ass ship. And he even drags Hayden's body out too. And they try CPR for ages, but to no avail. To be fair, they try it for so long that you expect a fake out and then he'll wake back up, but it never happens. He's just dead. And then we just get the credits. Yep, that's it. So, do they make it back okay? I mean, they're just floating in the abyss. What the hell happened? No, he's dead. See you, folks. And that was Titanic 2. Not as bad as you'd expect, but it's still awful. You hear Titanic 2 and you expect the worst of the worst. But it's not. The acting from the two leads is actually surprisingly really good, and it does have a couple of decent moments. The budget is the least of its problems though, as the writing makes no sense and it's just all over the place. The extras are terrible, the effects are laughable, the story is ridiculous. Let's just hope we never get a Titanic 3. We're just going to keep going and just have a Titanic extended universe. Titanic 3. The Ship's Revenge.